Today, I'm going to be talking about designing fully assembled guitars versus guitar parts. So let's get into it. Hey everybody, it's Aaron at Warmoth, and today I'm going to be doing a compare and contrast between designing a fully assembled guitar and designing guitar parts. And this is something I've done videos on before. I just thought it would be fun to revisit because it's interesting and it's more different than you would think at first glance. This is a fully assembled guitar, one of the only fully assembled guitars that Warmoth has ever offered. It's a Warmoth Meadowhawk. And this was a limited edition that we did to celebrate our 40th anniversary back in 2020. And I got to be part of the team that designed this guitar, so I got the chance to design a fully assembled guitar. And when you're designing a fully assembled guitar, you have a finite set of parts that you're trying to work into a recipe. So you already know the body, or you're working on the body shape, you're working on the headstock shape, you know the tuners you're going to use, you know the pickups, you know the bridge, and all the electronics. And you're trying to make all of these things work together in a cohesive way. And then once you have that recipe finalized, then you're just going to repeat it 1,000 times or 10,000 times. And as you go, you may refine certain things. For example, like this is my personal Meadowhawk. And even after the final release, there are still things on it that I'm refining. I recessed the three-way toggle so that it didn't sit so proud off the body. I put different knobs on it. I changed out the tuner buttons. And so if you're a manufacturer of fully built guitars and you make those little kinds of iterative changes, then maybe you just update that on next year's model or whatever. Or occasionally one of your suppliers may change a spec, like whoever you buy your tuners from might change a spec, so you have to make a little tweak for that. But generally, you're just working with a finite set of ingredients to make a cohesive design and then repeating it. Now, on the other hand, this is a guitar that I built using Warmoth parts. In fact, this is the first guitar that I ever built using Warmoth parts. And when you are designing guitar parts, your overriding concern is compatibility. When you're making a guitar body, you want to make sure that guitar body is compatible with every neck that you offer and vice versa. But just within the guitar body only, you have to make sure that every option that you offer is compatible with every other option that you offer, and same with a neck. You have to make sure that every new option that you offer is compatible with every other option that you offer and also compatible with the body. And after you've ensured all that compatibility, then you have to make sure that it's compatible with as many third-party things as you can wrangle, because you never know what bridge or tuners or different brand of guitar, body or neck the end customer may want to use with this. And so you're just trying to make it compatible with as many things as you can. And again, not just the part itself, but even the options. For example, on a neck, some of the options that Warmoth offers would be a different fret wire or a different fretboard radius or different inlay. So let's say that you want to create some new inlay that is kind of wide across the fretboard, like just a floral design or something. And you create that inlay and you work out the routing pattern and you try it on a fretboard with a 12-inch radius and it works great. And you're like, this is fantastic. But then you try it on a fretboard with a 7.25-inch radius and you find that because it's coming down more extreme on the sides, all of a sudden you route right through that inlay, or you cut right through that inlay on the edge of the fretboard, and it doesn't work. You have to go back to the drawing board. Or a perfect example, this happened in real life, is when we offered the Moonglow side dots. They're slightly bigger than our normal side dots, and they work great on most necks, but we found that if the radius gets too small, it would come down and cut right through the dots. So we had to go back to the drawing board to work out a way to make those possible. And it's the same with the body, you know. For example, you want to add a new bridge. You have to make sure, first of all, that your route works with that bridge. Several years ago, a lot of people were clamoring for the non-fine tuner Floyd and telling us, oh, it's easy. You just have to shorten up the recess on the back and it'll work. Well, we bought a non-fine tuner Floyd bridge and we found out that's not the case. The base plate on them is different. So we got that route working. And then once you've done that, you have to make sure that that bridge route, whatever bridge route it is, not just talking about the non-fine tuner Floyd, but any bridge, you have to make sure that that is compatible with every body you offer. So is it compatible with every flat top? Is it compatible with every carved top? Is it compatible with any thin line style bodies where there's chambers that you might run into with the route? You have to check all that stuff. And then you have to check that that route is also compatible with any other options. For example, what happens if you recess that route? For example, you want to recess a Floyd, or what happens if, like maybe you're using a tunematic bridge and it stands way up off the body. Now you have to make sure it's compatible with your angled neck pocket option. And along the whole process, if you find that it's not compatible in some way with any one thing, you have to go back to the drawing board for everything. So yeah, I mean, that's the name of the game. It's a constant struggle for compatibility. And that's why sometimes you'll see things that you think, well, that's easy. Why doesn't Warmoth offer that? And it's not that we don't want to or that we haven't tried. It's that it may not be compatible with all the other things that we're trying to offer. And so it's difficult for us to make that a standard offering. And that's another aspect of designing parts, is that you have this giant Byzantine network of tangled options. Everything's trying to work out with everything else. And you have to find a way to explain that to customers in a way that isn't intimidating, a way that's understandable, it's a way that it's easy to go through and make an order that you can be confident all the parts are going to work together. And that's fairly difficult. And of course, then no sooner do you get all that stuff managed and you finally are confident in adding a new option and you put it out there and you sell it, and somebody tries to use some third-party thing with it, and you find out, it doesn't work. And so then you've got to either just acknowledge that it's never going to work or go back to the drawing board. Sometimes you'll spend forever testing a new route or a new, one that happened, for example, is we had tuner reams that worked with a certain kind of tuner, and they were that way forever. And then the manufacturer changed a small spec on their tuners, and our tuner ream didn't work with it anymore. And the manufacturer doesn't let us know. So the only way that we found out was because we sold a neck and a set of tuners to a customer, and it didn't work. And they called us up and said, I got the right route, and I got the tuners, and they don't fit. And we were like, what are you talking about? And we had to have them send it back, or not send it back. We had to go out to the shop and get a neck and the new tuners, and we found out that they didn't work anymore. So we had to redo the route again. And of course, we made it right for that customer. But it's just an example of, the manufacturer can change specs, and they don't let us know necessarily. So we have to constantly be on the lookout for that or respond very quickly when we find out some other way. But yeah, I mean, and this isn't a whine fest. I'm not trying to whine about how hard our job it is. We actually love it. It's what we do every day, and we love that challenge. It's mostly just to point out how different it is from designing fully built guitars. It's a whole different set of criteria. And as my brother-in-law likes to characterize things, it's our beautiful challenge. It's what we enjoy doing. And yeah, that's it. I mean, I hope that was informative and interesting to you. I hope it explains why sometimes things aren't on the website that seem obvious. If you have any more questions about all of our options and compatibilities, make sure and check out our website or give our customer service reps a call. And until next time, keep on picking.